Once Human just got some brand new developer updates, which do include several dev Q&As. Those go over the recent events and a lot of the player concerns, some of your most asked questions. We do have 2 recent 1.4.4 bug fixes, some last minute mentionables that are from the community. We got a ton to talk about. What's up, World of Utopia, back in with another video. Today we're checking out all things Once Human. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. First up here, yes, we did get a brand new dev Q&A that will also lead us on to a dev talk. First up here, though, we do have the questions and answers. Now again, a lot of these are for the recent events, as well as just community feedback in general. Where the first question here is, shouldn't the mechanic of the spectral hunt be changed? Only the final hit counts as an elimination, and essentially everyone else's effort is wasted. They received a lot of feedback on this from players regarding the spectral event, or the spectral hunt. Based on that player feedback, they decided to make the following adjustments. First up, they have adjusted the difficulty. I do believe they made it slightly easier to take down these bosses, as they were quite difficult at a lower level and lower gear. So for those new servers, it was quite hard to participate in the event. And they've also updated the elimination leaderboard mechanic so that all players who participate in the elimination will receive credit. There's going to be more details that will be shared on their official social channels very soon. Again, we don't have anything as far as the patch notes side of things. When they do push that update forward, I will let you guys know. Next up here, someone was having trouble using the mirror when they click to use it open and closes, and they wish they could fix their character. So there was an issue prior to last week's update. However, that fix should have been pushed through now. They said if you're still having issues there, to please contact support. I would also recommend, as a side note here, that if you do have an issue like that, it's always good to verify your files, whether on Loading Bay or Steam. Both of those seem to fix a lot of problems. For the third question here, we have, why not make one instance for all worlds to make it easier for buying? Instead, we have to climb up to the teleporter to change the world, do the same thing for each world, and you've made space for vending machines. Seems kind of pointless not to make it all one instance. Good thing to note here is they already got that in the works. Since the Harvester market has been launched, they've received a ton of feedback and carefully reviewed it. They're actually planning a comprehensive optimization of the market, and they're going to include addressing the disorganized vending machine layouts and unifying systems. Seems like more than likely they're going to make this an instance zone. I would assume they just make it like a PvP zone where they have that kind of pink border, and then they launch everyone into that zone. Seems like that's probably the best play there. So it'll be somewhat instance, but open world instance. Next up here for question 4. People seem to be disappointed with the interaction with the gym package, at least with the recent furniture drop. They want to have the character work out with some of that stuff, especially the fitness items. However, they do actually mention that there are several items that are interactable. The standing sandbag rack, the flat bench rack, stationary bike, and the professional treadmill are all supported with character interaction. So still pretty cool there. Maybe they add further interaction in the future, but you can interact with several of the items there in that package. Now, speaking of developer updates and the dev Q&A, we do actually have a dev talk here, as well as a future dev talk. Now, this first one goes over the March 27th update and the Return Player 101. They're really pushing on this one with the new scenario and gameplay. A lot of people didn't play through Way of Winter, or they don't understand the Visional Wheel, or even Prison vs. Clash scenarios, so they have a guide here listing all of those. Basically saying with this update, it's time to return. We also have the brand new Chrono Vault webpage event, where you can earn a ton of in-game items. There's also the Temporal Anecdote rewards. That has 20 different rewards there depending on what level you achieve. Tons of free stuff. There's even a free skin for a car cosmetic. There's of course that webpage event, and also all the way up to level 4 where you do receive a full outfit, which are also included with the March Rewards Roundup. Has more than 40,000 Star Crown that you can achieve, some Mitsuko marks, and even Phantom Cubes, which are quite huge there for those effects. We do have on top of that the Spectral Hunt rewards. There's a ton of those there. We've had those in the game for a little while, but if you haven't seen, there's a bunch of cosmetics that you can earn, as well as even a Blood Moon effect cosmetic that you can apply to your character. There's a ton of notable things in this. If you want to check it out, or if you are a returning player, they actually do have an H37 crash course. I'll drop a link to it down below. Again, it does go a little bit more in depth there, but I basically hit all the marks. Next up here, we have a dev talk or dev Q&A that's actually coming up. This one is called Devs Spill the Tea. It's actually a dev live stream happening on April 2nd, which will happen at 7 p.m. PST. It's going to be 9 p.m. CST and 10 p.m. EST. Of course, it's a bit late to deal with the China time zones, but again, if you can't make that stream, I will have a full detail on everything they talk about. I'll make sure to take notes and anything that they cover there. They also do mention that they're going to have exclusive rewards. More than likely, it's just going to be redeem codes. I will make sure I grab all of those and provide those to you so that you can get those redeems. They do mention here they're going to share latest major updates. So yeah, they're going to share the latest ones, as well as answering some questions and discussing everything related to Once Human. Again, maybe we do get some updates here for the new scenarios. Those are going into PTR very soon. at least for the PvP one. I assume the PvE one will not be far behind. We do have a video talking about that on my channel, but essentially the China client actually last month did receive both the PvP and the PvE scenario. Those are the two brand new ones that we should be getting here quite soon, maybe in June or May, but we are actually getting the PTR here in NA. More than likely the PvE one called Endless Stream. From everything from that PTR client there, or what they did over in China, I assume that's going to be coming out at least in the end of April or beginning of May. So pretty cool there. We're getting some brand new scenarios. I do think it's going to bring a lot of players back. Next up here, we did have a bunch of 1.4.4 bug fixes. This was for both March 28th and March 30th. There was some restrictions with the Sigma area in the Nightmare difficulty. They restored the Prism War faction relations. Scenario challenge is now unlocked properly, deviant animations, and the Tranquil Needle no longer needs to eliminate an animal. We had some UI and HUD adjustments there. There's an HUD pure mode, which can now be toggled with F9. Essentially, you can disable your HUD there. Fix for discarded items and viewing point rewards are now displayed correctly. Shop got a ton of fixes here with the controller exchange items, featherweight items, and mod no longer unequips when switching characters. For storage items, there was a ton of fixes here for the world exploration, photo frame images no longer being stretched, events, Crimson event now appears on new servers, and they fixed the Prism Clash multi-settlement issue, where the event shop items actually weren't available in the Way of Winter, but now they are. And there was other bug fixes here, again for that floor mirror and settlement issues. So now everything should be good, and the new scenarios should have that Crimson event. We have a few last minute mentionables here. First up, of course, we did get those brand new vehicle stunts. Whether it's a wheelie or flipping your motorcycle or drifting your cars, they are now dropping the Ultimate Vehicle Stunt Challenge, where they say here to post your coolest, wildest, crazy stunts, and once human and one lucky meta will win the Fitness Club Furniture Pack. As we went over before, it does have a lot of interactables, so pretty cool for your home. Again, you'll have to post to this tweet here using those hashtags. Another last minute mentionable here is, of course, the mobile version is dropping very soon. And they do mention here that if you pre-register now, you're 100% able to secure the legendary cosmetics. There is a ton of those if you didn't get those at the original launch. There's also some brand new cosmetics there. So even if you're a day one player, even if you played in beta, there are some cosmetics that you can earn here with the mobile launch. And as I mentioned before, there's some exclusive rewards there with the Cradle Charm Minimalist Robot for Apple and then the Chipmunk Mouse for Android, or at least the Google Play Store. Moving on though, we do have those last bit of mentionables from the community. This first one here gets brought up all the time. They essentially want to limit alts in a server. Basically, they're saying that some people have up to 20 alts, although of course you would need 2 accounts to do so. Not hard though, you could have a Steam account and a Loading Bay account to do that. Most I've really seen is 5 to 6, maybe 7 alts from a player. It is getting a bit ridiculous there, but I'm not sure exactly how they would limit that per server. I do think it will be better going forward, especially with the new scenarios. It'll be much more lively in-game, and I doubt we'll have an alt problem like that. You're really just seeing that because a lot of people are being spaced out right now. Whereas essentially when those new PvP and PvE servers drop, the first few batches there are going to be very populated. People won't be spread out as much with that, and I do believe you'll have a much more lively server count, and you won't have as much of an alt problem because you'll have a ton of people signing up through their mains. I think that will help overall, at least. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not really sure how they could limit alts, even if they did with IP. You could essentially bring all your characters on the same account, and people would just use a VPN or find workarounds. Overall, though, that should about cover for today's video. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, and until the next one. Deuces.